morning and welcome to Virtual Visits. I am talking with Yoav of Israel My Way. We're going to be talking to him a little bit today about everything that they do to customize tours for our clients who want to see Israel, completely bespoke and made exactly for their families. Good morning, Yoav. Boker Tov.
Boker Tov. Good afternoon, actually, our time. Good morning to you.
What time is it in Tel Aviv?
It's 4 p.m. now.
Okay,
already.
so it's getting toward the end of the day.
How is your full work day behind me?
How is your quarantine going?
Oh, interesting, I have to say. So right now in Israel, things are a little bit like in the middle. We're not as quarantined as you guys in New York. We do work from home most of the time, but we are still allowed to go to the office. So I spend most of the day today in my office, actually, with a bunch of my team members. Others were working from home as well. We are expecting that by Sunday, which is the first work week actually in Israel, that we will be under full lockdown. So we will not anymore be able to go to the office. But it's fine, I have to show you. I'm walking here in my garden here.
Let's
Just
see.
the
Oh,
view
so
I have.
beautiful.
You can't see from here, but I can see the ocean, the Mediterranean. This is my yard, which I don't maintain good enough. But it's, I have nice view, nice air, so it's all good.
That's good. And who's at home with you when you're going to do your quarantine? Is it just you, or you have children at home?
No, I have my two kids, teenagers, 11th and 10th grades, both from home. Actually, they have the entire schooling online, so they're quite busy. Actually, they get up in the morning, they sit with their, in front of the computer using Zoom with their teachers. Actually, all the students are putting the video on mute, so the teacher is kind of like speaking to themselves. You can see who's actually listening and who doesn't. And my wife is also with me. She works with me in the office.
Okay, I didn't know that.
We own the company. We own the company together, so we both work together, obviously. So today she worked from home, but she can also go to the office. So we're all at home now.
That's what it is. So I have a preteen myself, my son, and it's actually kind of nice because I'm getting to hear him do his lessons and watch over him. It's a little different. And I think I posted yesterday that he's practicing for his bar mitzvah in 6 weeks. So we've been listening to him do his haftorah, and listen, the circumstances aren't ideal, but it is nice to all be together, right?
There are some advantages, I have to say. More quality time with the family. We can do like puzzles and games and get silly. There's a lot of things I can do more. Not really, I can go to the gym, but I can practice at home a little bit more. So there are some advantages in this situation.
So let's talk a little bit about Israel. I mean, first of all, it's one of these destinations that sells itself to me. It's like some people want to do a safari. People have a bar mitzvah or a multi-generation. They want to go to Israel. And that you never have to talk anyone into it. People are ready and they love to go. Tell me, I know what I think, but what is the most typical routing that people do? They call you up, I'm going to do a bar mitzvah trip, I have multi-generation. Where are they going?
So first of all, I guess Jerusalem is a place that you cannot exclude it from any itinerary. Even people who only have like very short time, like 2 days, probably on a business trip or like related to it, like attached to another tour in another country, and they only have 2 days, they would still go to Jerusalem, assuming they've never been here before. So Jerusalem is like a must. You cannot visit Israel without seeing Jerusalem, that's for sure. People who have more time, like a full itinerary, would probably visit, besides Jerusalem, they would see the Dead Sea, up north in the Galilee as well, and of course Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is really, spectacular. It's a blend of, art, culture, food, entertainment, so much more to it. People who have a little more time can even go to the Negev Desert, which is actually, it comprises about 60% of the land area of the country, and even to Petra, which is actually in Jordan, but is very easily accessible from Israel. So it's a good combo, to add a day in Petra.
I love Petra. I have a picture up. Can you see this picture? It should be up on your screen.
Yes, this is a big shrine.
It's one of my colleagues in Petra. I mean, you come around that curve and you see that just emerging out of the nothing. It's incredible.
Incredible. And even the history and archaeology of Israel and Jordan are actually quite the same. It's one land actually. So it is amazing. And even I think we're going to speak later about the less known gems of the country. So there are other regions here that people are less aware of. For example, the Samaria Mountains or Judea Mountains, both are today part of the West Bank, but they're very safe today. And there's so much to see there as well, not just the regular areas. Even around the Gaza Strip, we take people to learn about the complex geopolitics of the region around the Gaza Strip.
So that's actually a great segue, because the last time I went, about almost like 10 years ago, I was able to go to Gaza and the Golan, but I never got to the crater. And so many people are going to Mitzvah Ramon and up there, and like that is an incredible extension at the end of a trip, right?
It is. And they have this gorgeous resort that lies just on the edge of the cliff of the crater with spectacular views. So it really is part. When I mentioned before the Negev Desert, so the crater is in the middle of the Negev Desert.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many days do you think people need for that?
So for Israel alone, without any extension to Petra, ideally, I would say probably between 9 and 12 days to cover the highlights. And anything beyond that will get you to the lesser known regions, such as the crater, Petra, around the Gaza Strip, Samaria, Judea, etc. All the way up to 16 days maybe.
When people go to Petra, they have to do a border crossing, right? Tell us about how does Israel My Way help people with that border crossing? Because that's scary for people.
Oh no, it shouldn't be scary. Just something you have to deal with. It's not, and we have our ways to make it shorter and smoother. Actually, we use local people to kind of like cut the lines in a way. So you have to go through the border. It's not very complicated. Then you have a drive of about an hour and a half to go from Eilat, which is Israel's southernmost city, and the gate to go to Petra. So you have to cross the border over there, drive about an hour and a half to Petra, spend a day there, and you can actually return on the same day.
Oh, really? You can do it as a day trip?
It's a long day, but it's possible. Sometimes people prefer, and we recommend that people will stay at least one night over there. And by the way, they now have those, bubble tents, glamping.
Oh, really?
Spectacular. Yes, in Petra and in a place called Wadi Ram. So it is another adventure to experience besides the site of Petra. So
that's really nice. Cool. And I think some people stay and see Jordan, the city as well, right? I've had people do that for a day or two.
Yeah, there is more to see in Jordan than just Petra, but those are the two highlights, Petra and Wadi Ram.
Okay.
Definitely.
So where are people not going yet? What do you see as like the next area of Israel? Because I think as people get more comfortable, right? And I have people now who are coming back for a second time who've already, maybe they've gone and done their child's bar mitzvah trip and they did Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and they did a lot, or they did the Dead Sea. Now they want to come back and deepen their experience with a second visit. What is a good second visit?
So actually, I think that my answer will not be based on a geographical area, but on a different theme, a different topic, all right? So if your first trip included just the highlights, and you went to the Western Wall, went to the Dead Sea, Masada, etc., and if you're Christian, you went to see the major Christian sites, then on the second visit, we will try to learn more about you and your hobbies and your areas of interest, and relate to that and accommodate to it. So if you're into art, we'll take you to meet with the artist in their studio and see some museums, special museums related to your hobby. And if you're into food, we'll take you to be engaged with cooking sessions, and we call it shuk and cook. Shuk means market in Hebrew. So shuk and cook means that you stroll around the market with an expert and buy products, and then you exactly like this photo you can see now.
That's it.
So you can shop in the market, and then you can go to a chef's studio and cook your own meal, or you can go to a private home of regular people living in Israel and cook with them at home, like regular authentic dinner. So anything related to food, it could be wine, it could be fashion. We have a fashionista that takes people to visit with fashion designers in their studio as well, and meet them and talk to them and learn. Technology, archaeology, any topic that you can think of, we can design the itinerary around it and take you to see fascinating things that people cannot. This is something that you cannot find online. And even if
Sure.
you do, you can tell who's good and who's not. And it takes like a local experts like us to find the exact, person or company to create this special activity. Or if you want to visit a military base, we can get you. We have special access to just about anywhere in the country, so we can get people into. And we do this all the time. We send people into military bases, meet with soldiers, climb on their tanks, and talk to officers, get some security briefing by experts, all of that as well. So definitely, you can just let your wildest dreams free and tell us what you want to do. We can make it all happen.
I know, and you guys
Okay.
customize so many things. Sure.
So again, for us, every client is different. Every person has their own, hobbies, areas of interest. So we will try to build something around this. So I'll just give you one example. It does actually relate to family, but I'll give you other examples. So one time we had a small family coming to Israel, and the daughter was into Krav Maga. Krav Maga is the Israeli version of martial arts.
Yep.
And it's very known in Israel, but even around the world, many people are familiar with this. So the daughter, who was 17-year-old, she was into Krav Maga. And her mom told us about this. So we thought, what can we do that will be special for the daughter? So as a surprise, the daughter never knew about this before, only her mom. We actually did some research and were able to get into a person in Israel. And when they came to Israel, during the trip, the guide took them to just a very regular residential town, not anything specific, not interesting at all. They stopped in a street corner, and the guide says, come down from the bus, and I want to show you something. So they all went out of the bus, and then the girl walks on the street, and she sees her hero, who was the female champion, the world female champion of Krav Maga, like,
That's
her
amazing.
hero, on the street, approaching her, shaking her hand and saying, "Hi, I came to meet you. Would you come with me to my studio? I want to give you a one-on-one private
Oh
training
my
in my
God, that's
studio."
so special. I love that
This was
story.
incredible, incredible. The whole family started to cry. They got so emotional. And she actually took her to her studio and gave her an hour of private training session. And she's like #1 female champion in Krav Maga worldwide. So for the girl, it was by far her life experience.
That's
Not
amazing.
really amazing. This is just one example. I'll give you another example, more serious maybe. So one time we had another small family coming to Israel, and they wanted to go to Yad Vashem, which is the Holocaust Museum. They had a son who had his bar mitzvah, who was about 13 at the time. So we did what we call the twinning program. So he was 13, and so we matched him. We did some research in advance with the Yad Vashem personnel, and we found a child who died in the Holocaust, who was also 13 when he died. And not only that, but this child from the Holocaust was born at the same date
Oh
as
my
this
goodness.
child he was from Pittsburgh. They both shared the same birthday, different years, of course. And the entire visit in Yad Vashem was about the life of this child. He was from Hungary, from Budapest. So, and I came to join them during this visit. And after Yad Vashem, we went to a forest with a big memorial wall with some plaques on it. And when I came, with me was a woman, and I told them, I'm not going to introduce you guys to this woman. Wait a bit. I will do it later. So we go into this wall, and after they learned about this child's life and everything, and this tragic story of his life, and then we uncovered the plaque with the name of their family members who also died in the Holocaust. And then I told them, you know who this woman is? So the story goes like this. So apparently this child from the Holocaust who died in the Holocaust, he had a sister. The sister survived the Holocaust. And in Yad Vashem, they have this, what they call the witness page, that relatives can file, some details about their relatives who perished in the Holocaust. So we found a name of the sister of this child. She filled up the paper. It was back in 1980 something. So I had a name. I looked up her name, found out that she lived in Canada, I think in Montreal or somewhere in Canada. I called her.
Oh my God.
She was like 85-year-old at the time or something. I said, "Are you the sister of whatever his name was? Please sit down," because I knew I'm talking to a very old lady. She might get very emotional. "Please sit down. I want to ask you something." Anyway, I reached out to her. She was the sister of this child who died in the Holocaust. And I told her about the story that we're going to have a family coming to Yad Vashem. They want to do this twinning program with her brother who died in the Holocaust. She said, "You know what? My daughter lives in Israel. I want her to come for this ceremony you are having in the memorial wall." So that was the woman that came with me to meet the family. So I told her, "You see this woman coming, sitting here next to me? She is actually the niece of this young boy who died in the Holocaust." I'm almost crying now that I'm telling you that. You can imagine how emotional it got when we were there. They kept in contact, and a year later, the whole family came, including the lady from Canada, the older lady. She came from Canada with her daughter who lived in Israel. And the family came again to Israel, and they all gathered around this wall. This was so emotional, I can't tell it. Like,
I mean, these are experiences people cannot possibly get with a group tour. It has to be done customized.
No way. No way. It takes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So these are the things we try to always do something, unique that relates to people's, areas of interest the most.
Absolutely. That's incredible. So my family is, my son's what we call a pizza bagel here in New York. Do you know what that is? That expression translates. So it means he's half Jewish and half Italian, right? He's a pizza and a bagel. He's a pizza bagel.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So when we talk about coming to Israel with both sides of our family, and many people in New York especially are like this, we want to have exposure both to the Jewish cultural sites as well as perhaps some of the Christian cultural sites and historical and religious sites. I know I've had clients that have worked with you to go to Bethlehem. What's that? What is that like? How do you integrate that into a trip? And what are some of the highlights of Christian-focused Israel trip?
So first of all, we do have a lot of what we call mixed families of mixed religion, Jewish and Christian, or even other religions, Muslim or whatever. The thing is that Israel is actually, the cradle of Western civilization. So if you are Jewish, Christian, Muslim, or any other faith, you have your roots in Israel. So it's actually very easy to find what to do with just about anyone. And the roots of Christianity is coming from Judaism, actually. So it's easy to combine, and actually, I think it enhances the experience because you realize that both religions have the same roots at the same places. So the holy places are actually holy to both religions. So it's not like two separate stories, two separate narratives. It's actually one that just like, two roads diverge in the end of the wood in a way. But in the beginning, it was one road that's separated. But
that's beautiful. It's like the great unifier.
Exactly. And once you're on the ground here and you see the place and you realize that it's not separate, it's actually combined. We all one big, I don't know, humanity, if you can call it that.
I love that. That's beautiful.
So definitely, yeah. And there's a place I like near the Sea of Galilee. It's called Magdala. It was the town where Mary Magdalene came from. I don't know if you know, I'm not going to go into too much of history, but this is a village that we know today that Jesus used to come there in his early life to preach during the Sabbath day in the synagogue. And the people living there were Jews. And this is like the point of history where the very early Christians and the Jews started to separate. They were still praying together in the synagogue together, but they were starting to adopt different habits in a way. And a few years later, a few decades later, actually, the two religions separated. But in the beginning, it was same people with slightly different traditions.
So you can integrate that into a trip for people who are coming who are cross-cultural and they can have that experience.
Exactly.
Can you guarantee that my in-laws and my parents will get along better after they've been to Israel together?
Well, I'm not responsible for family dynamics, but definitely, people come here, I think, with something in their heart that they take with them once they get back home, like another layer in their soul that they didn't have it before.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's not like going to Israel is not like any other destination. It's not like a beach vacation in the Bahamas, because it's so much deeper. You gain experiences that are deeper into your soul, much beyond nice views and good food and nice beach. It's much more profound, I guess.
It's absolutely. I think it's totally true, and it's beautifully put. So we'll end our virtual tour on that note. Tell me, what are you most looking forward to when quarantine is over? Where are you going to go next?
Well, first of all, I'm a runner. I like to run. And now that we are only allowed to run within a 100-yard perimeter, which obviously you can't run. And my hobby is to run not really in the city, but in the open fields. So I miss that so much, to just run in the fields or on the beach. It's not allowed now. So before going anywhere else in the world, I just want to go either to the beach or to the fields and just run, smell nature. It's a sense of freedom that I lack the most before going anywhere else. We have, what I think, and I've been talking to so many of my colleagues in the industry, once you maintain your optimism, you're in good shape. I mean, if you feel that this is a crisis, we have to go through it, and to emerge stronger, you're in good shape. If you don't get too sad or too depressed or whatever, I think you should feel safe and know that this will end. And we will come up stronger from this. There's no other choice.
We'll be back to it, I think, before we know it, hopefully.
For sure, I have no doubt.
And it's nice to visit with friends when this is going on, so I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much.
No, my pleasure. Thank you. So we've been talking with Yoav, the owner of Israel My Way, and we would love to do Israel your way. So please reach out and we'll get you all hooked up with a customized trip. All right. Thank you, Yoav. Shalom.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Shalom. Bye-bye.